Men and women moving west across North America had to contend with severe weather and steep terrain, making finding a place to bathe challenging. The ongoing hunt for clean water, which may be vital, comes with the voyage to new locations. In extreme conditions, survival sometimes took precedence over cleanliness. Living in close quarters, going days or weeks without a bath, and a lack of adequate toilet facilities all contributed to a life in the Wild West typified by foul odors, frequent disease, and a generally dreadful way of life. Hygiene in the American Wild West was probably about what you'd expect, unhygienic. In this video, we will discuss some shocking facts about hygiene in the Wild West. But before proceeding to the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss any video from Roots. Clean water could be difficult to come by. Water was crucial for existence in the Wild West, but it wasn't always simple to locate pure water. Outhouses erected by homesteads upstream occasionally polluted water, which was not always noticed by those who utilized the local water. More specifically, stagnant water attracted flies and other insects, which left waste and feces as they hovered over puddles. Another issue was collecting rainwater into cisterns, which was clean until dust and other impurities were added. People would refrain from washing dishes and clothes or use bath water to do so in order to conserve water. When they were lucky, entire families would utilize the same tub of water on a weekly basis. When Rose Pender visited the West, she relished the refreshing bath, a luxury she hadn't had in 10 days. Soap was made from animal fat or plants, if at all. Frank Clifford, also known as John Menhem Whiteman and John Francis Wallace, authored a book on his experience in the American West. Clifford, a Billy the Kid companion, shared information about the soapweed Mexican ladies used to wash their hair. Clifford had his hair washed with soapweed root numerous times, according to Clifford. The shampoo left the hair soft, clean, and lustrous. While some people utilized soapweed, settlers produced soap from animal fat, which they also used to make candles. Homemade soap was harsh and might cause skin irritation, but there wasn't much emphasis on creating it in any case. Body smell was thought to be a natural part of existence. Similarly, the perception that excessive cleanliness exposed pores to germs and sickness reduced people's incentive to bathe. Oral health care often meant tooth extraction. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental floss, and other such items were not available in the Wild West. When a tooth became bothersome, it was routinely removed. With no contemporary dentists available, people turned to barbers and even blacksmiths, men who would take a painful tooth out of their mouth using instruments similar to pliers. There was no pain medicine utilized, although whiskey might be used to take the edge off. There were several alternatives to extraction, but individuals were largely unconcerned with mouth cleanliness. People would use a communal toothbrush and regularly scrape food out of their teeth with knives at stagecoach stops and public venues. Communal towels were used to wipe off beer foam. Bars of the Wild West lacked stools, but they did have rails at the bottom for leaning, also for spittoons. A cuspitter, an extra rail, or a series of hooks may have been installed along the top of the bar. The last two features were intended to retain towels used by men to clean their lips of leftover beer froth. These towels were used by a large number of customers, contributing to the spread of germs and disease. Dust was everywhere. As Sarah Atherton, her husband Jed, and their children traveled across the western landscape, Mary Ellen Jones's daily life on the 19th century American frontier describes Sarah's eyes burning. The dust was everywhere, and since early afternoon she'd been staring into the sun. Her sunbonnet offered little protection from both beating down on her. The presence of dust was all-pervasive in the Wild West. Dust storms and high winds might blow filth and grime into homes while endangering the lives of livestock and settlers alike. Sarah Raymond Herndon, a young woman who traveled from Missouri to Montana Territory in the late 1860s, recalled, "Oh, the dust, it's horrifying. I've never seen anything like that. It appears to be almost knee-deep in parts. We drove 20 kilometers without stopping before setting up a tent for the night. When we came to a halt, the lads' faces were a sight to behold. They were caked with dust. The openings where the eyes, nose, and mouth were visible through the dust were terrifying. We're all relieved to have lots of clean, cold water to wash away the dust." Women were generally cleaner than men. Cowboys, soldiers, and other men in the Wild West frequently went for days without washing, only to wash off their dirt with a plunge in a nearby creek or river. Typically performed during the hot summer months, males avoided the pastime throughout the winter. Women, on the other hand, generally cleanse their faces in the morning. Sarah Raymond Herndon described walking down to the spring for a drink in the mornings, when she bathed my face and hands in the cool water, picked a bouquet for the breakfast table, and returned to camp. However, the lack of seclusion, combined with a sense of modesty, prohibited much more on a daily basis. Cowboys and soldiers often went months without cleaning their garments. When they did laundry, it was usually in a stream, river, or similar body of water. Some men wore their hair long. Some of the most well-known Wild West personalities, including James Butler, Wild Bill Hickok, and George Armstrong Custer, had relatively long hair. He even perfumed his hair with cinnamon oil. Cowboys who came to town would get haircuts and shaves, as well as hot baths, new clothes, and nice meals. Along the way, they'd occasionally indulge in some perfumed hair tonic. Shorter hair became popular in the late 19th century. According to one explanation, males began to wear shorter hair as a protest against antebellum customs. Longer hair was also popular with Indian scouts, such as long-haired Jim Courtwright, who notably wore his hair long after becoming a Texas lawman. People thought bathing too often was unhealthy. You would have thought that their overpowering body odor would have warned them otherwise. Yet bathing too frequently was once regarded to be unhealthy. They reasoned that taking too many baths would cause your pores to open up, making you more vulnerable to illness and infection. They had no idea how ridiculous this idea was. Cowboys often reeked of horse odor. Every time a thirsty cowpoke arrived into town, regular bar guests would frequently be treated to an odor most awful and would promptly hurry to the local drinking hole for some drinks. It goes without saying that these riders smelled very good after weeks of riding a sweaty horse without taking a shower. But as long as you had cash to spend, bartenders didn't seem to care how you smelled. Hospitals were bacteria breeding grounds. Clinics and hospitals were available to those who were lucky enough to reside in big cities. These institutions were meant to help patients heal their diseases, but in the 1800s, before things like bacteria were widely known, they ended up causing almost as much harm as good. Diseases frequently spread like wildfire in these healing environments because medical equipment was not thoroughly sterilized after each patient visit, and patients were in dangerously close quarters with one another. But as we come to the end of this video, we hope you enjoyed this video. If so, then please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss any videos from us. If you want to enjoy more videos on Wild West and many other interesting topics, then stay connected with us. Thanks for watching Roots.